I'll speak for maybe like just a couple of minutes, and then we'll jump into the documentary. It's roughly 37 minutes long, and it's already 9 o'clock, so we'll try and keep this portion of it brief. The documentary is online, by the way. The documentary is done by an organization called the Capital Research Center. It is a Washington, D.C. based think tank. They do some phenomenal work. This is third of a series of 5 videos that they're making. The first one was America Civil War 2017. The second one was Soviet Islam. And this is the third in the series that's talking about Antifa. All of them are starring Trevor Loudon, who is a researcher extraordinaire. He's a Kiwi, he's from New Zealand. He'll introduce himself in the film, but very briefly, he's written voluminously talking about large volumes of books called The Enemies Within that details about the history of communism and its socialism and its modern day manifestations. That thick book, well, not all of it, but he also produced a movie called The Enemies Within, which I think we actually showed here one time. It's a very good instructional film.
I think we showed about half.
Yeah, we saw about half of it. That's right, correct. I think there was, yes. And this is his latest manifestation, and even does mention Boston in there because it was something that was meant to be rather comprehensive. What's very interesting is that this was supposed to have premiered about 3 weeks ago at Berkeley. Milo was going to be going back to Berkeley. You know, he had attempted to speak there at one point, and I think actually your lawyer friend mentioned that they had done $100,000 worth of damage to the area, but actually they also did, but that was to the university. They also did about $400,000 worth of damage to the surrounding businesses. So they cracked up about $500,000 of just hooliganism, destroying private and public property, because that's just the nice, friendly people they are. I put a few things up here about them. One thing to note that I'll talk about a little bit after the movie is that November 4th, they are planning on beginning a revolution. I don't know if it just happens to coincide with the 100th anniversary of the Russian Revolution, or whether it's just they have a problem they also have with Trump, because it's a year after Trump was elected. But and this is in November 4th. Just remember, whatever happens is just the beginning, because they intend to go on and on and on. They were definitely out in force at the rally. They were obnoxious, threatening. Let's see. I didn't include that, where the tweet where the Boston police, who, you know, Commissioner Evans was very thankful that the rally was relatively peaceful, and I think what they were saying is that they were really, really, really happy that nobody died. I was there.
I walked by there.
I was there, and I was there for quite a while. I said it more than once, including to a reporter I've known. I think what's going to happen is either this is going to, you know, end really somewhat soon, or somebody's going to die, because these people were angry. Cops and Klan go hand in hand was the chant, and I'm like, what are the police thinking while they're trying to, you know, police all of this
some evidence,
stuff?
speaking to somebody who works for the Boston Police, that the policemen's union is not happy with City Hall or the commissioner. They know the Antifa is gunning for them, and they do not feel they're being backed up by walls.
Yeah, let's talk about that afterwards. But yes, also noting noting that Antifa, it came out after Charlottesville, and I think actually somewhat shortly after Boston, that Department of Homeland Security, along with the FBI, has been tracking them as domestic terrorists, doing domestic terrorism since April of 2016. So during our wonderful President Obama, it was known that these people were out there bashing heads for love of liberalism.